Hi, everybody. This is Susan from Partners at Play and Soul Speakers Global. And today I'm so excited to have my amazing guest, Joshua Bloom, on with me for this interview series. Today we're going to be talking about traditional versus holistic and quantum healing on the quantum level. Let me tell you a little bit about my guest, but before I do that, I just want to say hello. Joshua, thank you for agreeing to play with me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here, and I know we're going to create some magic together.
Oh yeah, absolutely, no doubt, right? Okay, so let me just tell you a little bit about Joshua. First, I just want to say that I connected with Joshua around 2014 when I was bedridden, and I would listen to him on some radio shows, and he really helped me just have that inner calm, right? Have that inner peace. So there is a special connection because he really did help me during the darkest time of my life. So thank you for that. Joshua is an internationally acclaimed, trusted authority on quantum healing and the executive producer of a cutting-edge film, The Ultimate Answer is Inside. He is the author of How to Heal Yourself Instantly. Among many other audio and video programs, Joshua is doing what most people would consider being impossible. He assists his students and clients in completely releasing ailments such as fibromyalgia, pain, anxiety, fear, depression, allergies, migraine headaches, and so much more. He trains students to heal themselves and helps others to do the same in extraordinary Come to the Edge certification program. Joshua is a master life and business coach, a neuro-linguistic programming master practitioner, a certified hypnotherapist, a certified practitioner of emotional freedom technique, a master teacher of being quantum, and he uses Reiki, and the founder of the Healing Center, the Quantum Healing Center. So, oh, wow. So today we're going to talk about his journey and, you know, his healing philosophy, and we're going to talk about empaths because empaths really have a difficult time sometimes in this world because they pick up a lot of different energies. So we're going to talk about that and how he can help empaths. So, yay! So, Joshua, so we did, you know, my first experience of you was in 2014 when I was flat on my back and bedridden. I heard you on a number of radio shows, healing Darius's program, You Wealth Revolution, which I am a huge fan of his. And, you know, I remembered you, and we ended up in the same mastermind together. And it was funny because before I even saw your face, I heard your voice, and I'm like, Joshua? Is that you? And then so began this incredible friendship. So I'm so grateful to you. And we've been connected for the last 6 months or so, maybe a little earlier. But so first of all, thank you for being here. And I want to just give you props for your support of me and my business. And, you know, you were so gracious to come live on my virtual summit. And that was such an extraordinary experience. So thank you.
Thank you too. It was really a fun experience, and it was so meaningful to connect with everybody. It's so nice when everybody comes together and we create something that's so spectacular and is so special.
It is. It is. So I'm still riding that wave of the energy that we all created in that magical event, and I cannot wait till my next one. So, what's your opinion of traditional medicine and traditional modalities versus the holistic approach?
Well, I've tried them all. Many years ago, I had a lot of issues. There were a lot of days that I wasn't even functional, you might say. I had lots of fears and lots of anxieties, and it was very difficult for me to move forward in my life. And I was feeling very frustrated because I wanted to heal myself. I was dealing with migraine headaches, attention deficit disorder. I was dealing with dyslexia. I was dealing with all sorts of things all at once.
Wow.
And it was so difficult for me to move forward and for me to just survive. I mean, I was like in survival mode, you know? And I was in survival mode for years, just trying to move forward and wondering what's happening to me? Why am I feeling this way? You know, this kind of thing.
Wow.
So I started out with many different approaches. And some were, you know, regular therapy, medical model stuff where, you know, EMDR and I never went to medication, but I did think about it because I was in a place where I needed something, and I needed the anxiety to stop. I needed the fear to go away, and I didn't know what else to do. But I didn't try medication. That was the one thing I was. That's like my last resort because I wasn't in alignment with medication. Medication basically shuts it up, but it doesn't resolve the root cause. And I wanted to get to the root of it. I wanted to find out what was this that was really plaguing me and how could I get to the root of that and resolve it. And then I would feel like I accomplished something rather than mask it for years and years and years. And I know when you mask some feelings, you mask the good ones too, right? So you mask maybe the bad ones, but lose the good ones. So I wasn't willing to do that. I was close. I tell you, I was close. But I decided that there were other ways. So what I did instead was I went and learned every different healing modality. I started out with neurolinguistic programming, and I learned that because it was taught to be very quick. And I wanted quick. I'm not the most patient when it comes to results. I want them now, you know. Don't we all want them now? I think we do. So I went to neurolinguistic programming, and in my class, I learned all sorts of things. I learned some basics of quantum healing. I learned some basics in, actually I learned hypnotherapy. I learned how to use your language, all of this in neurolinguistic programming class. But it was pretty amazing. I took a very good class. And then I learned other things like Reiki, and I learned about 20 different healing modalities. You know, there's so many out there. And I noticed after going through so many, I noticed that there was kind of a trend with what they did. They all had one secret to them all. Every single healing modality has this one thing. And what that is relaxation.
Yeah.
Every single healing modality, no matter what it is, has relaxation in common. Now, for example, EFT, the relaxation doesn't come until after you tap, versus in hypnosis, the relaxation is first, right?
Yes, yes. Exactly.
So, but the relaxation is somewhere in the experience of it all. So that's what is so powerful about healing modalities is that when the relaxation comes in, we go into like a trance. And in that trance state, your body can process information. Now, the interesting thing is that in some modalities, we work at the strategy level, which means there are steps. You first do this, then you do that. Hypnosis is one of those. Reiki is another. Basically, you're going to do the first step of the process, then the second step of the process, and the third step of the process until the process is done. We call that a protocol, right?
Yes.
And when we do the protocol, it should work. Should be the opposite word there. Well, for me, going through all the things that I was going through, it didn't work most of the time. So it was quite frustrating for me when I was engaging in a strategy and it didn't work. I'd be like, what's wrong with me? You know, why isn't this working? I mean, it seems to work for other people, but it just doesn't work for me. And I felt so alone, because it seemed to me, at least in my small view of the world at that time, that everybody else was healing from these things and I just wasn't. And so it was a struggle. It was a big struggle for me. So I kept learning, and I kept learning new healing modalities and learning how to do different things. And finally, I understood something from quantum healing that really made a difference. And it really comes from what Einstein said, where you have to, in order to make a change, you need to make the change at a higher level than where it was created. You can't create the change at the same level. Right. It has to be at a higher level. And so this is really the coolest thing, is to realize, well, strategies are a very low level. And so if the problem is here and I'm working here, I'm not even hitting it. And then I realized, I get it. I know why I'm not healing. And I know it's not me, thank God. You know?
There's nothing wrong with you.
I thought it was me, totally. I thought it was me. So then I realized if I work differently, I call that working smarter, not harder, right? So if you work differently at the higher level in which you're supposed to be able to make the change, it will work. And so that's exactly what I did. And I released all of my migraine headaches. I don't get migraine headaches anymore. I don't get anxiety attacks anymore. I don't have attention deficit anymore. And I read just fine.
You never really did, right? It was just that you were in the constant anxious state that caused, it was, would you say that's because
well, it was a habit.
Right, exactly. Okay, that's a good way to put it.
Certainly was a habit. And I think in a sense, I was protecting myself with fear.
Yes.
It seems kind of odd, you know, why would someone protect themselves with fear? But the fear was a safe place.
Yes.
And
I totally understand that. I really do. It's like that nice warm blanket affair where you don't have to go out there, right? You don't have
then you don't have to risk anything. You don't have to do anything. It's like, okay, if I have fear, then I can't do it. I have my excuse.
Right. Right.
I can just say no to that. But I couldn't say no to it otherwise, right? I had to have the excuse first. Oh, I'm in fear, so I can't go. Versus I couldn't just say I don't go because I'm not going to go because I don't want to.
Yes. So this is interesting because what's coming up is, you know, because I suffered a lot of pain when I was bedridden, when I was healing and I was going to be doing something that I really didn't want to do, my pain would flare up, giving me the excuse to say no. And finally, I just, you know, I wrote a letter to my pain saying, you don't need to appear for me to say no. I'm just going to choose to say no.
Ah,
right?
Love that.
That's pretty interesting. So our fears and our anxiety and our pain will show up to support us, right?
I know it does. And it's like, you know, it's okay. You don't need to support me right now. I like to be able to live my life too. That would be good.
Yeah.
So, and I was able to do that. But I had to leave this medical therapy model context. I had to leave this idea of protocols. I had to leave the notion of things change in time. You know, I learned from the medical model that we have incremental change. So change happens a little bit at a time. So a little bit you get better. Do this for 21 days and you'll feel better. Do this step, then go to the next step and go to the next step, and then you'll feel better. I'm in quantum healing, in quantum energy transformation, which is the modality that I created. we use evolutionary change, which means that it happens all at once. It happens in waves, just like the ocean. So a wave of energy moves, and then another wave comes in after it, and then another wave comes in after it. So it happens in waves in the moment. It doesn't take time like months and years to change something. It could even happen in that moment and just be done. And sometimes, you know, the healing experience is over, but it goes in waves later. You know, it continues to wave for about 36 hours after a session, which is kind of cool.
Wow. So you've had, your clients really have received tremendous results. And do you want to speak to some of those results from this quantum healing that you perfected and created?
Well, I'd like to speak about the very first person that I worked with, or very close to the very first person that I worked with. And she came in dragging her foot behind her and kind of, I don't know, she kind of looked like a monster walking in, to be honest with you. She did not look good. And all I could think about for myself, and I was a newbie at the time, all I could think about was, what did I get myself into?
Right. Oh crap. I promised healing. Oh crap. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Because this lady is dragging her foot behind. She's not walking like regular walking. It's like, you know, it's sort of like the hunchback, you know, walking in. So I didn't know what she was dealing with, but it was something that I didn't know about at the time. But she requested to work with me. There were other people. I was working in a center, and she could have worked with anybody. She asked to work with me. So I asked her, why did you choose to work with me? And she said, well, I had an intuition. And I'm like, okay, well, what did you want to work on? And she says, well, I have fibromyalgia. I'm like, what's that?
Oh, goodness.
I didn't even know what it was. And so I said, she explained it to me. It was an incurable syndrome. And she had lots of pain, especially in her legs. She couldn't sleep and she couldn't get up in the morning. And it was a very difficult experience for her on a daily basis. Yeah. And it was just a rough way to live. And I said, well, I'm willing to play if you are. And she said, sure. So I remember I asked her a question in that moment. I said, what was happening in your life at the time that you felt that you had fibromyalgia? Not when you were diagnosed, but when you felt that something wasn't quite right. What was happening in your life?
Wow.
And she said, nobody has ever asked me that question, Joshua. She says, I need a moment. So she took a moment, and she was standing up at the time, and she sat down. And she got very quiet. And I thought, oh, okay, she's just, thinking about it. Right. She starts, the tears are just coming down her eyes, her face.
I just got chills.
And I'm like, now what do I do? Remember, I'm a newbie, right? This is new to me. This lady just came in. I asked her this great question. I thought, wow, I had a good question. That was awesome. And she starts to cry.
Men are not good with the tears.
And so all I can think about was sitting with her, and I grabbed her hands and I held her hands. And I took her through the quantum energy transformation process at that moment. And in 4 minutes, she looked up at me, because she hadn't looked up the whole time. Yeah. She looked up at me and she said, it's gone. And I'm looking around and saying, what's gone? And she said, the fibromyalgia left my body.
Oh my God.
And now remind you, I haven't had that many sessions here. I'm a newbie at this. I did coaching before, but at this point, this is healing, right? And I'm like, okay. So I didn't want her to think,
you doubt your own modality, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, okay, well, so that sounds good that it left your body, right? She said, yeah, it left my body. So at that point, I thought, one of us is crazy. One of us, either this lady is like off of her rocker, telling me that she no longer has fibromyalgia, or I'm off my rocker. I'm not really sure which one. I really didn't know what to do. But anyway, I'm smiling and I'm being authentic with her. And she said, that's it. That's what I came for. Thank you. And we didn't even, that wasn't, I mean, it took 4 minutes. So she just said she was done. So I said, so she's leaving the room and I'm like, okay, well, keep in touch and let me know how you're doing. Could you call me tomorrow and just let me know how you're doing? And I'm seeing this lady walk normally out.
Wow.
So I said something happened because that lady was dragging her foot behind when she walked in and she's just walking like regular.
Wow.
And so I thought that was pivotal for me, because you might think, well, I changed this lady's life because I created this modality that was very helpful to her, but she changed mine. And you know what? She didn't only change mine, but she changed the lives of everybody I worked with thereafter.
Wow.
She taught me that anything was possible. She taught me that it was actually possible for somebody to have an issue that deep, that bad, and be able to resolve it instantly. And I didn't, up until that moment, I didn't think that was, I thought of the idea of that being possible was a good idea.
Right.
But I didn't really think it. I mean, I really didn't think, like, really, So
right. I'm going to just heal people in an instant. I mean, how?
It sounds like a good idea. But this was real. This was so amazing. She called the next day and she said to me, Joshua, I feel so grounded. She said, I don't think I've felt this way almost in my entire life. She said, I feel so strong and vibrant. She just felt so much better. Well, shortly after that, she went on a honeymoon, a re-honeymoon, because they were already married. So they went on a re-honeymoon, like a 10-year or something like that, anniversary. And they went on honeymoon and they were going to Paris. And her husband knew that she wasn't going to be able to do much. So he planned his days out for himself to go do things.
Right.
So the first day she was okay. She was feeling okay. And he said, well, I know you're not going to be okay tomorrow, so I'll plan for tomorrow to do something. So she walked all day long in Paris. Now, that was a lot of walking. She did all sorts of stuff that she would not normally do. It was a lot of exercise. So she went to bed and she woke up in the morning and she got up. And her husband said, I had planned the whole day to do something else, but sure, you can come along and we can go and enjoy our honeymoon. So they went and walked around the next day and then the next day. And she said, I never had that experience before, that I wasn't like laying in bed at least, 3 or 4 times a week. And sometimes she wouldn't get out of bed in a whole week because it was so bad. Wow. She was getting up every single day and she was walking and she was feeling fine. She walked in after the honeymoon, maybe it was a couple weeks after that. She walked into the center unannounced with a testimonial in her hand. And she said, Joshua, I'm not the kind of person that gives testimonials at all. It just isn't me. But I've thought about it. And I said, if this could help one person, even just one, taking the time to write this would mean everything. But there's been thousands of people since I've worked with her. Thousands of people have healed. It's just, I bless her for the gift she gave me.
My sister has fibromyalgia, so I know how severe it is. So
it's hard. It's really, it's, I can't even imagine. And this lady had it for 16 years.
Wow.
And she had it so badly. It was horrible.
Wow. So that completely changed your life.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, oh my, I've got something here. Yeah.
Yeah. So how amazing is that? So, wow. So since then, you have helped people heal from so many different things using this quantum healing technique that you have. And
let me stop you for a moment, because what you just said was very interesting. You said quantum healing technique.
Yes, I did. And there's a technique.
And it's not a technique, which is a cool thing, because quantum energy transformation is a way of being, And it's not a technique because we work at the higher levels of change. So we're working at identity, we're working at spirituality, we're working at purpose. In a sense, what we're doing is we're not fixing the problem, we're actually working in a way where you become a person who no longer requires the problem.
Oh,
It's a whole shift. So I did not heal this lady of fibromyalgia. That is not what happened. Instead, we shifted the energy at the root cause, which is in the cellular structure of the body. That's why it's called quantum healing, right? Quantum energy.
Yes.
And we were able to shift this energy at the root, and therefore the problem went away because she no longer required that problem, because she shifted her energy, her beingness, who she was changed. She was a person that just didn't have it anymore.
I get that. I totally get that, right? Shifting your beingness where it just, you're no longer a match to that vibration.
Yes, I love that. You're no longer a match. I love that. No longer a match to the vibration. Yep.
Yes. So that is so amazing. So wow. So you've continued to evolve, and you have this this gift of healing, and you also coach. And wow, there's so much that we can talk about right in that area. But I know that you specifically came on to talk about empaths, right? So we could totally spend like a couple of hours just on the quantum healing and the results that your clients have received. And so perhaps you'll come back and we'll talk about that. But today I know that you really wanted to talk about empaths. And, you know, I'm an empath. So I know the struggles that I've had in my past, right? Because empaths are very sensitive to the energies around them. Mm-hmm. So oftentimes we are being bombarded with all this energy, and it can be so overwhelming at times. I know that for a personal experience. I wanted to share with you that at one point I was when I was in management in the insurance industry, I had a young lady, she was a single mom. She worked for me, and she was coming in and she was so depressed, and her energy was so dense. It was so heavy and so dense. And every day she would come in and her energy was so strong. I could feel it, And so she was so depressed, and I was like, oh my God, I just can't even do this anymore. I just wanted to go home, right? And just get away from the energy. It was so heavy that I emailed her. I said, I don't know what is going on with you, but I want to give you $500. And she's like, I can't accept $500. And I'm like, please take it. Please take it, right? So I gave her $500 so her energy would shift, so I would feel better. I don't do that anymore. I have since learned how to separate my energy, but sometimes that's how strong it was for me as an empath. But now I know how to, my energy is my energy and your energy is your energy, and I can peek in and peer in, so to speak, but I don't take it on.
Well, similar to that, when I started to work with people, I would have people release and transform the issues that were plaguing them. And in the middle of the releases, it would get so strong for me, because of course I'm an empath as well. And so it would get so strong for me, I couldn't even be in the room.
Yes.
So here I am sitting there, and as soon as I get anxious, because it would happen, I would get anxious. And then I would say, I'm going to have you finish this, and I'll be back in a moment. When I come back, we'll all be healed. And so I left the room, and I'm in the bathroom going, God, that was hard. Like, oh my
No.
God, their energy was huge. And so I released my own stuff, and then I came back in, and this person's like, woo, I'm feeling so good. And I'm like, oh, that's so much better.
Oh, thank God, right? Because it
Thank
wasn't
God it was so horrible. So I learned how to deal with the energies, but in the beginning, I really had to leave the room. And I felt bad. I felt at first I was like, well, they're missing me. I'm leaving, and I'm literally leaving the room because I can't be in the room while they're healing. And I feel, shouldn't I be there while that's happening? And then I thought, actually, I'm honoring them.
Yes.
Because if all this energy was coming up for me, now they're dealing with my stuff. So I'm leaving the picture so that they could just deal with theirs. And it worked brilliantly. Now I don't have that issue, but it definitely was an issue for me.
Right.
Okay.
This poor woman, it was either fire her or pay her, because I couldn't do it. That's how bad it was. But I'm so grateful for the experience, because it caused me to really research and look into and learn how to keep my energy pure while dealing, because I'm a coach and I'm a healer. So we do tap into people's energies to really see where they're at. But now it's almost like it's not me tapping into their energy. It's almost like my guides are tapping into the energy and relaying the information back. So my energy is always protected.
That's great. I like to look at it as I can put my little toe in the pool and see that the water's cold. I don't need to jump in fully to know it.
Right. That's good too. That's good too. So, but I'm so grateful to be an empath, because it really does give you it gives me so much insight into other people, and you don't have to have a conversation to see where they're at energetically. You can just feel it. You just kind of know. So it really has served me well to be empathic. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I think for me the same, because I can sense someone's energy. I can tell where someone's holding energy that needs to be released. I can sense whether they released it or whether they didn't. There's so many things I can see and sense because I'm an empath. But I find that me, as well as many empaths, have a lot of difficulties with a lot of issues, because as an empath, empaths are really, really great at helping other people, but when they come to themselves, they kind of aren't as good because they're so worried about everybody else.
Yes, because we need to have everybody's energy be good. We need all the energy to be good so we can feel good. And so I can totally relate to that.
Absolutely. And also, this idea of other energies, it gets overwhelming for empaths because there's so much energy that they're dealing with. They're dealing with not just energy that's inside of them that's their own, but energies, like if they're in a building, they can feel the energy of the building itself. The people in the building, they can feel that. They can feel all this energy. For me,
I can feel the energy.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yes. So yeah, it's just really, once you know how to balance your energy, it's truly a gift. But when you are an empath and you don't know how to manage those other energies, or protect your own, and I don't like the word protect, because I don't think we really need protection, but you know what I mean, to honor your own space. It's like I honor my own space, and you are not able to come into my space and I don't go into your space. Does that make sense?
I call that boundaries. Yeah. So you have boundaries that allow you to live differently. And I think boundaries are so cool because they really give us our freedom back.
It does. So let's talk empaths. How do you help empaths?
Well, one of the things about it is that because it's so overwhelming, that empaths really get a lot of anxiety. And when they have a lot of anxiety coming up for them, they don't know what to do with it, which is what happened to me. And it's not really only their anxiety, by the way. They're picking up other people's anxieties. They're picking up the energies from the buildings they're in. I remember for me, I would go on a train, and I could not only feel the people that were in that train, but all the people that were ever in the train prior to that, and also the energies that they left behind, and the conversations and negativities and all sorts of things that were in there. So I walk into a train and it's like it doesn't shut up.
Right, right. I want to just stop right there, because for people that don't understand it, I just want to say, so if you were ever like walked into a party or walked into an event, and you can feel the happiness of that event, right? Even if nobody is talking to you, you can feel that energy. So it's the same thing, like if you walk into a room and there was just a fight a little while ago or an argument, you walk in and you can feel that energy. And I think everyone can do that, and everyone can relate to that. So an empath is like supercharged, so to speak, right? I think that's a supercharged sensitive. So if you're somebody that's not an empath, you can relate to picking up energies. But I wanted to just say that for anybody that doesn't know what an empath is.
Yeah, and not everybody knows that they're actually an empath. For many years, I didn't know that I was an empath. I just thought I was anxious, and then I realized, oh, it's not only me. It's just that I'm picking up this information, and a lot of empaths also pick up information from other dimensions or the other side. So the more that someone can pick up, the more information is bombarding them, and it feels really overwhelming, to say the least.
It is. And even buildings, because buildings, you know, if there's like a negative history in a house or a building, I can feel that.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things that really helps empaths a lot is grounding. You know, we as people have been trained or conditioned, you might say, to be in our head all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we're in our head, like all of the time, we are disconnected from our body because we're only in the intellect all the time. It's just like the wheels are running and that's about it. And so when the intellect is running and it's consistently running, it actually makes us feel more anxious, whether you're an empath or not. But when it comes to empaths, if they're in their head, they're feeling all this energy, but they're not grounded. Right. And if they're not grounded, then they feel unsafe. They start getting anxiety attacks. Other symptoms show up as well. Sometimes physical symptoms show up, and it becomes very difficult to function, which is also what happened to me.
Understood. Good. So you have a program that helps empaths.
Yes, I do. And it's called Balancing Your World from the Inside Out. How to take power over your empathic gifts.
Oh.
See, the thing is that as an empath, we kind of think of it as a negative. It's like, oh, I pick up all this stuff and I feel bad. And so it becomes a very difficult experience. However, there are so many gifts that come along with being an empath.
I agree.
You're very sensitive so that you can really feel other people's experiences and share with them like no other. Empaths can many times know danger before it happens. Empaths can sense energies that will assist them in living their life. Empaths are natural born healers, so they actually can heal themselves and others very, very easily, many times without even trying. I know one lady came in to see me, and I didn't even work with her, and before she left, she said she was healed. And it's like, whoa, she had this major stomach issue and it went away. And I'm like, wow, that was so cool. You know, she came in, we were talking about the possibility of working together, and then she said she didn't need me because I healed her already.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. I had somebody that I worked with, and she said she had a lot of anxiety issues, and she had to sit near me because I was like a Valium.
No, it is that way. Well, empaths sometimes absorb other people's energies and they don't let it go. So it becomes, so the other person feels really great, but the empath is like, what?
Sometimes, right. But now that once you understand it and you can set those boundaries, and you know, it truly is a gift, because I don't wear other people's energy anymore, but
Yeah.
I can still feel it. Does that make sense?
And that's good. It's good to get information, but not allow that information to take you over.
Yes, yes. So now it's very powerful.
And that's what my program does. And it helps you do that. If you go to www.IamAmazingness.net.
I love that. I am amazingness. Perfect. Yeah, that's beautiful.
So this is a net, not a com, but a net. So it's IamAmazingness.net. And it's if you go there, you'll see you'll see the program. The program teaches you how to get in your body and be really grounded and strong inside, how to strengthen your energy, how to move forward in your life. Empaths have lots of trouble moving forward when everything is just too much, overwhelming. So the program really handles a lot of things. The first class, it's a live class, and it's called Enhancing Your Empathic Gifts. It's a live masterclass with me. And in this masterclass, we're going to discover how amazing, that's why we said I am amazingness, right? How amazing you truly are as an empath, and what abilities you have, because we have to look at the positive parts and resolve the parts that you feel are negative. So this first class is going to help you discover how your high sensitivity is an amazing benefit rather than a problem. You're going to be able to raise your energy frequency and discover that you have healing powers. So it's going to be kind of cool to discover the magic that empaths have. So
that is cool. I wish I had this program before I paid that lady $500.
I wish I had this program like, 25 years ago.
Oh my goodness. So that is amazingness. So when does your program start?
The program is available right away. So the live class that I just talked to you about, that's the first class. That one's live, and that happens in July. But the rest of the class is immediately downloadable and ready for action. So in module 2, we talk about going from being a victim to being victorious. So we don't have to be a victim of our energy. Instead, we can stand up in our own superpower, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's like teaching you to be your own superhero, or if you want to put it in Star Wars terms, being the Jedi.
I love that. I'm a Jedi. Love that.
Yes. So module 3 is how to stop absorbing other people's energy. Now this is a big one. Empaths absorb people's energy and they don't know what to do with it. And now it's just overwhelming them. So I don't do that anymore. And obviously you don't do that anymore either.
Right, but it can be debilitating. It can really be debilitating if you don't know how to manage it.
Absolutely. And the other thing is another benefit of an empath, and module 4 is all about your intuition. So this module is called Incredible Instant Intuition, that when you understand how your intuition works, you actually can have more intuition available to you. A lot of times we say, was that something I said in my mind, or was that my intuition? I can't tell. Well, after this class, you'll be able to tell.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes.
the last module, module number 5, the power of letting go. And this is a really big one. If as empaths, if we hold on to everything that we learn and receive, it becomes not only overwhelming, but it can actually make us sick. So what I do is I teach you how to let it go. And using quantum energy transformation, we can let it go instantly in the moment. And we can do so effectively that we can release like all of your stress in like 2 minutes. We can release a big trauma in something like 7 to 10 minutes. I mean, it's just that fast.
Wow. Wow. So this is amazing. I'm going to put the link with this interview so that people can register for your program and for your master class. I'm really excited for that. And
oh, I have to tell you this though.
okay.
There are 3 spots for action takers. So if someone's an action taker, they're going to get a session with me. So you got to be one of the first 3 people to buy the program, and you will get a session with me worth $350, and we will work together on anything that you want. We'll be able to resolve a problem, heal an issue. You know, in just 7 to 10 minutes, we could probably heal at least one, right? So how many can we heal in a whole session? So it's
wow, that is a huge value. Yes, definitely. Wow, that's awesome.
And as a special bonus, I'm giving my stress eliminator program. So it's a video that teaches you how to eliminate stress in just 2 minutes. It is something that I created when I realized that we hold so much stress, and it piles up on itself. But if we can release it so quickly and easily, it would like make our life better. Especially nobody has time. Everybody's busy. Everybody's doing this. Nobody has time to, take, like
3-week
40
vacation.
minutes of meditation. What did you say?
3-week vacation. I always said the first week behind, right?
So, meditation or doing yoga all the time, it takes time to do those things. All you need is 2 minutes and your stress will go away. That's it. And it's that effective and that powerful. My students use it many times just when they wake up in the morning to get a good start on their day. And some people, when they get so overwhelmed, they just grab that experience and they release their stress in 2 minutes, and it's just life-changing.
Wow. So definitely this is a phenomenal program, and I completely vouch for Joshua. He is an amazing healer, and I'm really excited for the people that do join your program because I know the power in it. So that is awesome. And act fast so that you can get seriously, a free session with Joshua is worth a lot. So definitely take action, click on the link, and amazing.
And the neat thing is that for your community, I brought the price down. This is a $3,000 program that I'm selling now to your community only for $97.
Holy crap. I don't know if that's proper interview speak. Holy crap. Sign up now. Get your friends, get your family members program too. Like seriously, the gift that keeps on giving. This is so generous, Joshua. I'm so grateful.
I wanted to do something special, and I wanted to make it so that everybody could afford it. And it's so meaningful when I can help somebody, and that's exactly why we're here, right? So I wanted to be in alignment with that.
So I'm so honored and so grateful to you. You have been so wonderful to my community, and I know that we're going to play together a lot more in the future. And so thank you so much. So I mean, seriously, get his program, people. get his program, and absolutely. So thank you. So. I have no words really now. I'm speechless. I had no idea that he was going to offer this tremendous gift. So definitely take advantage of it. So thank you so much. Do you have anything else that you want to share to the audience that might be, might be an empath or might think they're an empath and don't really know?
Well, I think everybody needs to remember this. You're amazing. You're literally amazing. And even though you might be having some difficulties, whether it be depression, anxiety, pain, or anything else, and it's difficult for you to move forward, and life is weighing you down. I know I lived that way for many, many years, really not being functional on a daily basis. And it was a big toll. It was a big toll in my life. And you don't have to live that way. You can resolve these things very, very easily and very, very quickly. There is a possibility. There is a way for you to have exactly what you need and to live your life with joy and happiness and freedom, and just know that you can do it. But remember, the bottom line is you're amazing. If you remember that, then you will trust in yourself to be able to shift your life and change it so it's exactly the way that you choose it to be.
Awesome. Awesome. So don't pay that worker $500, right? And you don't have to run around making sure everybody's happy so that you feel good. Take care of yourself. Get the program. Honor who you are, because you are amazing. And so thank you, Joshua. I cannot wait till the next time we get to play together, because I know that we will. But thank you so much. And you can be reached at, what's your website address if they want to, check out other programs that you have, perhaps if they have fibromyalgia or something else that they might want to check out additional programs?
Well, you can go to quantumhealingcenter.com. That would be a great place to go. And Emotionally Free TV, www.emotionallyfree.tv. You can go there and you can experience my TV show that I have there. It's kind of a lot of episodes sharing how to heal yourself instantly.
Oh my gosh. So, okay, I'm going to definitely check that out. So I'm really excited. Okay, thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you too for having me. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.